Hi guys, welcome to another weekly show on Bittersweet Love Talk Show. On this day, we want to speak to one lady who has gone through an ordeal in her relationship, and she has come to this show to share with us so that we can tap into her experience and be able to see how this will help our viewers back at home. We ask ourselves sometimes what happens when the people we love bail out on us. And today, this beautiful lady is here to share her experience with us and to be able to tell us how she was able to overcome this particular experience. Karibu.
Asante sana.
Yes, tell us something about you.
Okay, my name is Jennifer Mboni Lagosa. Born and raised in just a normal background setup, and life happened, and I have to manage.
When you say life happened, what do you mean?
When you grow up,
Yeah.
once you're a kid, you have these dreams of you'll grow up, get married, have kids, have a normal setup family. Then things just don't work the way you are planning, right? So you happen to meet someone, then this relationship doesn't go where you want to.
Okay.
And you realize there was no relationship in the first place.
All right, just before you get into that, I would like to know, or our viewers would like to know, where you stand emotionally. You have gone through this experience, and it messed you at some point, and it changed how you view things in terms of relationships, and it affected you emotionally. Would you say at this time that you have healed, or you're still hurting from this experience? And I would really want you to explain this with either of these two glasses here. You know what they mean, yeah?
Yes.
Yes.
At the moment, I think I have healed.
Okay. So basically what you're saying is you've healed, and whatever you're going to tell us is something that you have gotten over.
Yeah.
Yeah? So this means you're picking
One drink,
which is?
I have healed.
Good.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. So, tell us about your experience.
We were young. I think we were very lively, very energetic, and we used to hang out a lot more. We could go with my girl squad out, and they could also come with their boys squad out, and we had fun. Then I noticed him, he noticed me, and that is when we exchanged contacts and still maintain our friendship. That was around at least, let me say, around 1 year thing, because it was an on-off, not a regular thing. I think I will not call it a relationship, but I will say it was a situationship. Yeah.
What do you mean by
'Cause
it being a situationship? I know what situationship means, but you met this guy through your friends.
yes,
And while you were out somewhere having fun, and then you exchanged your numbers. So when you guys used to communicate, was it clear that you guys are not in a serious relationship, or is just something that each one of you decided it's gonna be a situationship and not really a relationship?
I think it was casual, but when you are in a relationship, there are two things.
Yeah.
There is, first of all, commitment, and there is communication, right?
Yeah.
For us, I think commitment was not that much. Yes, he used to give me money, and he could spoil me, ask me to come over, pay for my air ticket and stuff. But there was not that much of a commitment.
Okay.
And you see, one thing that I want to tell my other fellow women, if you enter in a relationship with someone
Okay.
and there is no any commitment, you're digging your own hole and you have to be in it.
Okay.
Yes.
So just before we go into that segment where we will have our time to advise our fellow ladies, so what transpired after you guys exchanged numbers?
Okay.
Did you guys move in together? Did you get into an escapade? What happened that escalated this whole relationship to getting you to a point where now you have a baby with him?
I would say like this. It was just one particular moment where we had to share that moment. I had to go to where he was, that was in Mombasa. Then we had fun, then we came back to Nairobi. That was when I realized I was pregnant, but not that particular day. Just, I guess it was 1 month
Down the
later.
line.
Yes.
Okay.
That is when you realize your MPs are gone and you can't trust them. You have to call. You have to call and verify. And it actually dawned on me I was actually pregnant. That is when I decided to buy the kit, get tested, and I realized the 2 strips. I had to call him, let him know that I am pregnant. He was very much okay.
Okay.
He was very much okay with it. In fact, he never wanted me to abort the baby. He told me, J-Lo, he calls me J-Lo. He told me, J-Lo, you do this. Please don't abort my baby. And when you see someone affirms you in that way, you kind of have a security in the back of your mind. But when reality hits you, it's more different from what you expected. So I had to carry my baby at least to the 5th month. That is when I started communicating still. And I had to ask him, what is the plan? Because in our African setup, there are those stages in life.
Yep.
Like you have to go to your parents, they have to know this guy you're dating, and they have to know what is your future plan for their kid. So once I asked him, okay, I'm still having this baby, but you haven't shown anything regardless. Because I'm trying to tell you, the baby's on the way. You haven't come met my parents. You haven't even met one of my siblings, because I have my brother and my sister. At least, what you could have done, you could have said, okay, since I'm afraid talking to your mom, let me have one of your sibling contacts. I can communicate and tell him about this and this and this. If at all they're comfortable, then we come over, discuss on how you're going to meet your parent. There was nothing like that. So it was around 7 months, I decided to take actions. I had to give him an ultimatum and tell him, are you ready to be a parent, or you just out there? You cannot hang around or hanging there without having a particular stand. So he told me, okay, everything is going to be okay. I'm just busy up here, and then I'll see what to do. Okay, I told him, you know what? You're a guy, and I know what particular position you have. Okay, he's financially stable. That is what I can say, and he has a very good job in the government. So I had to talk to him and bring sense out of him. But all he could say, I think, I may not want to justify this, but maybe he was not ready. Because we communicated, and it was heading to 8 months down the line. You see, I need to have baby stuff now. I need to know Am I going to still be in this house? Because for me, I'm located in Eldoret. He's in Nairobi.
Okay.
So these are different. It is a different place.
Yeah.
And I had to know what is the plan then. But since there was nothing like that, I had to figure it out by myself. I realized I was becoming so depressed. I used to cry a lot. I could cry day in, day out. I was so stressed. In fact, I went to see a doctor, and he told me, like, how many kgs are you? I used to weigh 60. Then 8 months down the line, I'm still at 65. She told me, no, life has to continue. There is more beyond this. You need to stand up strong. And Maki, you're not the first lady.
Yeah.
And you won't be the last. And I realized that was a turning point. Once you realize there is no responsibility, there is no commitment and anything whatsoever, you have to take that part. And I had to be strong till the due date. I went, did my scan, and I was told it was a boy. I called him. That was around 8.5 months. I called him and told him, hi, I've been told the baby is almost due on December 2nd. So what is your plan? He told me that he'll be coming over. In fact, he told me, usijali, nitakuwa kwa labor room. Don't worry, I'll be there to support. So everything seemed like dead hopes. I just woke up day in, take one day at a time, because nothing seemed real. And then December came 2nd, went to labor, then he delivered on 3rd. He never called, he never texted, he never asked about the baby, he never said anything at all. And then I realized most of the communication, it was on my side. And he never communicated back even to know how much is needed, how am I faring on, how is the baby. And then I just told myself, at times in life, you can love someone and you love them deeply. But loving someone who does not love you, it's like reaching for a star that you'll never reach. And you keep on trying, of which you're just going to end up desperate, frustrating yourself, and some even commit suicide. I never allowed myself to be in that position at all.
At that particular time, what was running through your head? You're here, you're in labor, and you are supposed to go into the delivery room, but he's not there.
He's not there.
He's not there physically, emotionally, and financially. He's not there. What was going on in your head? What were you thinking?
I was actually contemplating, should I leave this baby here in the hospital? Or what do I do? Because, back at home, they're still waiting for some communication, feedback, and everything. Like, is the daddy present? Is everything going well? How is he doing? Like, has he come to see the baby?
Yeah.
And how is the baby? Nothing seemed to happen. So I just decided to let go and let God.
Let me ask you, when you first met this guy, wherever you met him, you didn't mention the exact place where you met them. You just said you were having fun with your friends and then you met him. And throughout the whole year, did you ever notice anything to signal you that there was another woman in his life, or was there any signals? Were you the only one in his life?
Let me say, as women, like we have a very strong intuition.
Yeah.
And once you get to have this intuition, we tend to ignore them. And that was the repercussion. I used to see him text. At time he could go in a different place to make a call. But when he comes back, he says that, you know, the affirmations word, and we ladies love to be told sweet things. Once he says, I love you, you know, you everything, in fact, our future, I can't wait to be with you. You're my everything, you're my very, like you're my woman and stuff. You tend to believe more.
So basically, you fell for his words.
Yes.
Allow me to ask a rather personal question as we move on. Would you say this was love for you, or you were in it for the material gains?
I think for me it was love, because I fell in love with him. He was such a cute guy. Like, if he walks in a room, everyone will turn around and look at him. Like, he was very cute. But I knew what I was getting myself into. Because once you realize such, and you just know you're not the only one. Because if all of us are going to notice this particular guy, so how so sure are you that he's going to stick around, you know? So for what I can say, he was more of a playboy. So
Did you know this?
Okay.
Or you're just coming to realize it?
The first time, you know, once you notice someone, he's so cute and stuff, you just know. Okay, we now call them snack, you know.
Yes.
Every lady admires that guy.
Oh, so you saw a snack,
Yes,
and everyone wanted to snack on him.
Exactly.
But you managed to grab the snack earlier.
And I wanted to get a piece of the snack, and he left me the copy of him.
Okay.
Yeah.
A smaller snack. Because your boy is handsome. We've seen him. He's handsome. When you went out with this guy and you shared a night with him, do you think there was something you noticed that you would have worked on then and you didn't work on that would have saved you the ordeal that you went through?
I think what I could have done is not getting pregnant for this guy. Because, sorry to say, but he was just a douchebag.
We will come back on that. We need to take a short break, but when we come back, we need to understand why she says she should not have gotten pregnant for him when we come back in a short while. Hi guys, and welcome back. Just before we went to the break, you were telling us that you feel like you shouldn't have gotten pregnant for him. Why is that so?
Because I realized like this was, you know, matatus. We call them matatus, or they called van. And those billboards, wanekanga hapo juu akionyesha prices and the places to go.
Yes.
You know them? Yeah. So these matatus, on the billboard, it is indicated going nowhere. And the thought is busy shouting outside, going nowhere, and you still bought the matatu, right? So this was the relationship. It was going nowhere, and I still entered it. And I became pregnant.
If this relationship was going nowhere,
Yes.
and like you put it, this tout was
Busy shouting,
shouting.
going nowhere, and I still had to buy the matatu.
And you bought it the matatu to Mombasa, where you got pregnant.
No, it is not actually like
Yes.
what I'm trying to say is like I didn't see what was beyond.
Okay.
And I took a chance, which was per se a wrong decision by now. But by then it was the
You thought
best
you were doing
thing,
the right
yes.
thing.
And you know one thing in life, you can never advise a woman in love. Never. My friends used to tell me, "Ai, J-Lo, uko sure mtu I'm like, mimi wachane, please. You know. Then things happened.
Okay.
Yeah, and once you realize this was a ball in my court, and I had to choose whether to pick it and run with it or to let it there.
Okay.
And I chose. It was the hardest decision that I had to.
You said one of the things that really got you going with this guy is the kind of affirmation
Yes.
he used to give.
He used to affirm, he
Yeah.
used to give. You know the love languages, yeah?
Yes.
Affirmation, receiving gifts. And you know, at times, work of service, he had all those, but there was no future with that.
So my question is, did he ever at any sitting, at any point, like claim you to be the girlfriend or took pride in you being the girlfriend
Yeah,
or having
he
a
used
relationship with you?
to. Yeah, he used to in his boys' code. Yeah, and you know, once you have the assurance and everything, you're like, wow, I found myself a good man, and he's like, this is my lady. That was it.
Okay. Tell me something. When you came back from the break, I've been meaning to ask this. The first thing you mentioned was you regret or you wouldn't have wanted to get pregnant for him if you knew. Is this a regret you're having now? As in, do you regret having this baby? Do you think you would have changed the story if you had a chance?
Okay, what I was thinking
Yeah.
was I should have taken a bit longer knowing him.
To get to know him.
Yeah. If I had a bit time, I should have known his colors, true colors. I should have known a lot of things pertaining his life. Because what I knew was around a quarter of his life. I actually never knew about, at least I could have gotten 3/4 of his life.
Okay.
But I just had a short story of him. Like I never got to a chance where I could actually point like this is one of his relatives, you know. So I think it was love at first sight where things went wrong, and I realized it was not meant to be.
So basically what you're saying, you rushed into the relationship.
Yes.
And the 1 year that you guys were together, if I might put it that way, you actually were not together. He lived in a different town and you lived in a different town.
Yes.
So basically you guys just met up for coffee or fun and that's it. But you never went to the point of staying together within the year.
Yes.
And the moment you realized you are pregnant, were you so comfortable talking to him about it, or you were not sure whether you should tell him or whether you should keep the baby, or what was going on in your head the first time you realized you're pregnant?
You know, at some point before even getting pregnant, he used to tell me, Jilo, ukipata mti wangu usimtoe. So I was so sure like life is going to be good and smooth. You know.
But let me ask you, somehow you might have seen the telltale signs of this relationship not going anywhere. Yeah? 2 questions. Why did you go ahead, apart from the affirmation, why did you just decide, kaende, I am going in for this?
I was in love.
And secondly, having known all this, why are you blaming him and yet you knew this was a relationship that might not end up getting anywhere?
First question.
Yeah.
I was in love, very deep in love, and nobody could even tell me anything about it.
Yeah.
And second, I'm not blaming him per se, because things happen. And I decided to take the responsibility. You know, the thing is, if things could not work, we could at least co-parent,
Yeah.
And if at all not co-parenting, maybe he could even be doing child support stuff.
Okay.
But when none of them is existing, it's when you realize you can never force a mature man to be responsible. It is either he becomes responsible or not.
Okay.
And, doing something, it's not for the sake of me, it is for the sake of the baby. In fact, child support, it's not for my own use. It is for the sake of the baby. And we have to calm down, reason out, think on how this baby is going to be brought up in this world. The baby never asked to be here in the first place. So, child support, it's supposed to be for the kid.
Right. Just before we go to the child support issue, you mentioned that this guy, when you started your relationship, he used to treat you well, like a queen.
Of course.
And when you got pregnant, did you ever receive any support from him?
Yeah, he used to.
Uh-huh. And that kept on your hopes of him being around and being supportive to you.
Yes.
But then later on, things changed.
Yes.
Do you think he developed cold feet?
That's
When the issue of now the baby is now here, do you think he developed cold feet, or do you think he was just not responsible and he was in it for the fun and not for the long haul?
I should have said he was here maybe for the fun. And as I said before, he might not have been ready. And we were not ready per se.
Yeah.
So things happened. And once you realize it has happened, and like you, I'm from a very straight Christian background.
Yeah.
And abortion was not an option. So I had to deliver this baby.
I am tempted
Yeah.
to ask, and I want to ask this question. Might be too personal, but what are some of the things you would say that you still remember about him to date? I mean, what are some of the things he did for you that still make you think about him? Or do you even ever think about him?
That's a great question. Because what I think about him the most, he left me a duplicate, like a real photocopy of him. That is my son. He really resembles him, has the strong features in him, and he's so brilliant, just like the dad. And the stuff that he does is just the exact like his dad. Like, he's so friendly, a calm kid anyone could ask for, and he's just amazing. Second of all, I will cherish the moments that we shared, because we had fun that particular time, and yeah, I would remember him.
How does it make you feel to know that you enjoyed these moments with him and now he possibly is enjoying them with someone else and he just left you hanging there?
It's not easy.
Yeah.
We are all human.
Yes.
At times we're hurting from inside, but I came to realize once you let go,
Yes.
there's nothing impossible. And prayer is the key. I just one day knelt down, prayed, went to church, and asked God to give me peace of mind, of which I have it. I decided to let go completely and just be free. Like having grudges, you holding yourself. I just decided to free myself, and here I am.
Do you think you are used and dumped?
It is a bit harsh, but I wouldn't say.
Because this is a feeling that most women have. Most of the time, most women who have had kids with men, and then men decide to move on and just abandon the kid and the woman. This is a feeling that runs throughout the society. And we have so many single mothers.
Yes.
And every time you talk to them, that is a feeling they have, that this man used me and dumped me. Is it the same feeling you have, or you have a different feeling and different opinion of the same?
I would have said maybe we used each other.
So you also used him?
Yeah.
Please talk to us about that. How did you use him?
First, he gave me money, gave me a good life by then, and he gave me a kid, which I guess not all men can do, and not all women can get children, right?
Yeah, but remember,
Yes.
some men say kids came by accident. So not all men are also, like you're saying, not all men can give you kids, but the men who give kids can also counter this and say, this was an accident. I was trapped by J-Lo. I was not ready to have this baby. And that could be the reason why he bailed out on you.
And so let me tell you one thing.
Yeah.
Once someone is above 18, and you're all above 18, you were actually above 18, you cannot say someone or somebody trapped me. Once you sleep with someone without protection,
Yes.
definitely there's going to be an outcome. And when you sleep with this person without protection,
Yes.
there are also going to be consequences.
Yes.
And once there is no commitment, there are repercussions. And you have to tell yourself in the back of your mind, is this guy going to be the father figure in my child? Or he's just a hit and run, And once you don't have any commitment, be prepared. I'm telling you this for free. Be prepared to become a single mother. It shall happen. Very few come to claim back their babies.
That is right. We are talking about being used and dumped. And the way you have put your statements forward, I would also want to ask another question. Don't you think that having met this guy and liking the way he looks like a snack, using your own words,
Yeah.
you wanted to have a baby with him so that you could protect what you have with him?
I would say, per se, like, yeah, he's got good genes, like any woman would want to.
Yeah, I'm asking this because it happens with a lot of women. Yeah, they see someone who's very handsome, and without them going into the details of what this person is, what the background is, where he comes from, what he does, if he's a good person, they look at what I can get from this guy. And some of the things that women look at is financial support. This guy is well off. He can take good care of me. And then secondly, for them to cement that, they need to have something like a bait, which most of the time becomes an innocent kid. I'm not saying that is what you did. I'm picking up a general example. So would this have been the case, and could this have happened to be the thing that really pushed this guy away, knowing that this is what you wanted?
Not really, because In the course of that 1 year, he was on off. He was in the country and out of the country. So, like, I should have said, we never got that much time to know each other. And I should have at least taken at least maybe around 2 to 3 years.
All right.
But some men change. They tend to change. You can never tell the character. You can never just tell them in general. They tend to hide something. You can even realize later, after 20 years, maybe this guy is a gay guy, you know.
Or he's married.
Or he's married.
Yes.
He's been hiding his family. As per my case, I don't know if he's married. I don't know if he was scared. I don't know.
And why didn't you try to find out?
Because, you know, at the moment, once you get to communicate and nothing seems to happen, you just tend to choose your peace way. And I choose to walk on my direction. Had to delete his contact, had to just delete him out of my life.
They say most relationships that start from social platforms and social areas are never serious. What made you take this so seriously after meeting him where you met him?
You can get a good wife or a good husband at times in a social place. Yeah, so it's not a guarantee though. Yes.
Do you have any connections with this guy anymore right now? Do you know where he is? Do you know if he's married, if he has kids?
I would say since I had to delete him out of my life, I had to set myself free. Like, let him go. Once you keep on holding on, you just piling pain in your life, of which you can, it takes time to heal that moment.
All right.
Yes.
Kids, especially boys, need their fathers at one point or the other in life.
Yeah.
And now that you have blocked off this guy, when you no longer have connections with him and you have no trace whatsoever of where he is, and yet your boy wants to know who the father is, how are you going to get hold of him?
One thing, I guess I told him, I'll never deny your baby like having to come to see you. I'll never lie to him. Whatever happened, that was my story, and we get to learn from our mistakes. And I promised him, like, if he wants to support, he can chip in. He still has my number, I believe so. I told him you can check up on your kid regardless. I don't have any bad blood between me and him.
It is so difficult raising a boy, especially when you're a single mother. How do you go about this? What are the challenges you face as a single mother? And what is it that you would really have wished he was here to help you do in raising your son?
Like this time, I would say the lowest moments are when the baby is sick. Let me take this. You know, once the child becomes sick, you would have wished for support. And there's zero support. You have to be strong. And then in life, you come to realize you don't know how strong you are until strength is your only option. You just have to be strong for the sake of the kid. It's not easy.
And what happens when you're not able to raise funds?
You have to find a way out.
So you don't even reach out to him? He doesn't care about the health of your son?
I guess he chose his way, I chose my way.
So that's it?
Yeah.
Who comes to your aid when you're faced with such situations? It is at night.
Yeah.
Your baby is not feeling well, God forbid, but these things happen.
Yeah.
And you really need help. You really need someone to help you sort out that issue. Who comes to your aid?
I have a very strong family bond. I give credit to my brother.
Okay.
He's been so supportive, very. And I give credit to my sister because they've been there from day one.
Okay. Yeah. That is fine. I would want us to take a short break. But when we come back, we will need to hear from you, just to advise other single mothers out there on how they should go about raising their kids on their own, because it's not an easy thing. It is something that you really have to have your heart in it, and you struggle a lot to do this. So we will be taking a short break. When we come back, let's hear from J-Lo or Jennifer on how she has been able to take care of all her life needs and that of her son. Hi guys, and welcome back to Bittersweet Love Talk Show. So, as a single mother, how do you cope?
You have to be strong.
Yeah.
You have to be there. Once a mother, always a mother.
Okay.
The mother never gets tired. You have to work, and this time round, you have to work double. Thank God, at least I'm financially stable, but I can feel for that single mother that doesn't have anything, and they have to go through life.
Okay.
It is not an easy journey, but what do you have to do? You have to be strong. Yes.
Has there been any form of judgment and rejection through your journey? How did your family take this initially and now? And you mentioned earlier that you're getting enough support from your brother and sister, but your parents, are they supporting you too?
I'd say my mom was also single, though my dad died.
Okay.
We were in a family code. So I guess I could see disappointment in her eyes.
Okay.
But as her child, she never rejected me.
Okay.
Yeah, she would support me whenever she could.
Right. They say friends will sail with you when you're at your heydays, and then they will laugh at you when you're coming down. I'm not trying to say you're down, but I'm saying when you made this mistake, you had a clique of friends. Are these friends still there? Are they still supporting you? Are they still going out with you? Are you still hanging out with the same friends? Or they look at you in a different view?
I would say like this, in life, once you're in a particular phase, and things happen and you change to a different phase, just like a caterpillar, things also change. The way I reason now is not the way that I used to reason when I was single, when I used to hang out, have just fun, maybe go for a day out or something. I had to reduce my circle.
Okay.
And I had to reason out with different caliber of people.
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say they were there, but I just had to change my circle.
Yes. Kuna kuwaga na kamati ya mpeleke children's department.
Yes.
He cannot do this to you. The law says you are the woman, you have to fight for your kid. Have you ever had such advices, and how have you been able to push them aside? Because so far you have not had the thought of going to seek for help with the law. And what makes you to be this calm and not want to push him or to force him to provide for the kids?
Yeah, as I said before,
Yeah.
he has a very stable job.
Yes.
He's managing a particular branch. I want to mention it. He's so loaded, and okay, I never looked on that per se. He's someone who, if I wanted to,
Yeah.
I could have taken him to children's court.
Yeah.
But you know, there is this one thing. As I said, you can never force a mature man to be responsible. He has to know, like, this kid would need diapers, he would need education, good life, at least a place to call home. And he would actually need a good life just to be happy, you know. And if this person is not willing to, or maybe he once was willing to, I would actually tell you this. I have a friend of mine who told his husband, because they're actually separating, and it is actually messy. He told his husband that he's going to sue him for child support and stuff, and he's never going to see the children, or he will see the children under her terms. And do you know what the guy said? Because this guy is earning more than 200,000.
Yeah.
The guy said, I would rather resign than sending you my money. You see, he'd rather resign than sending you money for support of his children, right? But he can never just stand up and man up to become a father to his children. Like, say, okay, it never worked between me and you, and I can't force things to happen. It happened the way it happened, and you can never force anything.
Yeah.
Let us just take care of the kids and let them grow up knowing that this is a different system. Let's call it civilization. Yeah. I actually had those noises and sounds, like you need to take him to child support department and stuff. I came to ask myself one thing, what if he doesn't support? You know, I can never push him to that extent. If he wants to, he will. It comes from the heart. You can never force it. If he wants to, let him support.
Yeah.
And if he doesn't want, well and good. I'm here. I'm not dead. I have my two hands. I'm blessed. And I will work.
But most women don't look at it from that angle. Most women see this as an opportunity for them to mint money. And you have given us a very good example. You have talked about your friend who was asking for money from the husband. Sometimes women ask for too much money that men don't see why they should send you this money. Why? Because they want to take advantage of the kids to be able to enrich themselves. Not knowing that parental responsibility is a shared responsibility. What would you tell such women?
I'd actually say that is lack of wisdom. Because what do you gain, like, taking advantage over someone else's son? You have to sit down and think.
But
Is
again,
it for the best interest of the kid?
Yes.
Or is it for your interest?
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. You know, there's a thin line between wisdom and provision for the kids. You need to know when to ask and when not to ask. You need to know what to ask and what not to ask. How do you strike the balance?
First of all, you have to be mutual about this. And there are things like maybe school fees,
Yes.
maybe healthcare insurance cover, and just general support. You come to a particular term. And if at all, for instance, maybe the child is sick, come with the receipts. You don't have just to give me a random figure if I was a man. Tell me the bill is up to 5 million. Will I even provide? No. I will have to see the hard copy and believe in that. So come to a mutual understanding. Get to know what is for the best interest of the child.
Yeah.
Not just selfish interests for one particular center.
Yeah.
Yes.
If he calls today and he says he wants to be part of your baby's life, what would be your reaction?
I would be mad, sad, and happy at the same time.
Please explain.
Because he's really missed out.
Yeah.
That is the reason as to why it would be making me to be mad. You know, the small moments are the ones cherished.
Yeah.
The little things that you do really matter. For instance, if the dad was there during birth, during his birthday periods, maybe for instance, maybe during his circumcision period, you know, these are the little things that matter. And they really mean a lot to us as women and even for the children. So when you once realize that he's been missing out on these particular things, you just feel sad because at one or a particular time he will ask, why is it that daddy was not there in my birthday? What would you have to say?
Yeah.
You have to say the truth.
Yes.
And I have to say the truth, like this and this is what happened. Maybe he just never chose to appear in life, or we could not come to a mutual agreement, or anytime we face each other, it's always about fights. So I chose to protect you from this abuse and just block that negativity away from me.
All right.
And if he chose to be in his life, I won't deny him. After all, I cannot change his blood. East to west, if I get married again and find maybe someone else, he might change his name to his name, right?
Yeah.
And I can never change his blood. Rain will still remain his son. No matter what, we are bonded to the hip until one of us is 6 feet under. That is just about life.
So have you forgiven him for what he's done to you, or you just decided to forget? If you met him today, what would be that one thing you would want to tell him?
I guess at this time, I used to have a lot of anger. Like when the baby was young, you know, you first say, Mom, you need this support. The baby is crying. He's crying. You don't know what to do. At least you need someone to hold the baby maybe for the night. At least you just nap for some few hours. Yeah. Then he's not there. Then you do wish like this person was there in your life, supporting these little things, but he was not there. Yeah. So that is what could have made me mad. But I chose to forgive him because I cannot hold him forever. Maybe this bird was not my bird. I just decided to set it free, let it fly. If it comes back, I know nobody wanted it. Let it fly again, come back, let it fly until we know who is the owner of the bird.
But sometimes they say you need to cage the bird.
No.
Cage the bird and make it yours. Make it izoe nyumbani.
What if I cage it and it decide to die?
No, it can't die. If you feed it, it can't die.
I just let it go. If it come back, say no, nobody wanted it. Let it go again.
Yes. Because they say love, marriage, relationships, and family are things that we work on.
Yes.
They're not things we just look at and expect to see them working out, and yet we are not putting any amount of effort in it. Sometimes it's good to fight for what you think is yours, to protect what you think is yours. Having said that, this question I have to ask, I've been avoiding it. Why are you not bitter? Most women in your situation will be very bitter and they'll be spitting venom right here, right now. Why are you not bitter?
I guess I loved him so much.
Yes.
And I really loved him. And I realized it was not reflecting back on my side. And I had to tell myself I need to do something. At that particular time, people used to say life is short.
Yes.
But at that moment for mine, it was so big, and it was even bigger. I had to choose my battle wisely and just let go. Because at this moment also, I want to know what is in your heart.
Yeah.
And if you're angry at me or you're so mad at me, I won't know unless you come and tell me. So I decided to tell him one day, you know what? I used to be very mad and angry at you, but I chose to forgive you because I realized I'm not heading anywhere with this. I have to set myself free in order to be at peace. Yes.
So, after all these years, how do you handle your feelings, your emotions? You are still young.
Yes.
You are a mother. You are a lady. You have feelings.
Yes.
You need a man. How do you handle your sexual desires? Are you seeing someone?
I think I came to a point whereby
Yes.
I became so protective on my emotions, and I just don't want anyone to walk in my life, hurt me in any way that he wants or thinks, and maybe take me for granted. I just realized I deserve better. Currently, I don't think if I'll be in a relationship anytime soon. I guess maybe 5 years to come down the line, just see how it anoints. But if love comes, I won't chase it away, but at least embrace it. If it doesn't work, I won't force things to happen. You know, at times we as women, we always tend to work on our age bracket, right? When you are 25, you have to be married. If you are 30 and above, it is a must you need to be married. And if not, the society will judge you. Then I was asking someone like, okay, they're like, you know, J-Lo, wewe unasema tu hivyo, hujui miaka zinaenda? I'm like, okay, if nikioleka hii miaka itafanya isiende, you know. So I have to really take caution on that. And not really mind on what the naysayers are about to say.
All right. What is your advice? And that is your camera. We have ladies who have gone through the same ordeal as you. They are raising babies whose fathers have disappeared. They are fighting court battles with fathers who have refused to be responsible and provide for them. And they don't know where to start or how to end all this. What would be your word of advice to them as we conclude?
I would say it takes two to tangle. And once the entanglement happens, the lady is the one who suffers the most. You will be left there pregnant. Maybe, God forbid, if you don't have any job. And you know, one thing we as women, just to tell you this for free, you can never compete with a man. If this man is cheating on you, don't go back and cheat back, because he'll leave you, you'll become single, you'll have children, you'll be the one bearing the burden. Men will never get pregnant. We are the ones who get pregnant. Take cautious. Just love your life. Love yourself. And take care of the babies. For instance, for me, if the baby is here, you can't deny it. You have to take care of the baby and protect your child, protect your life. and embrace love if it comes your way. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much for your time and for your wise words. We hope this goes a long way into encouraging other women who are going through the same thing as you.
Yeah.
Those are the words of our guest today. Men don't get pregnant, they make you pregnant. You have the ability to accept the pregnancy or not. And it is up to you to decide who you want to settle down with. But before you do this, it is important for you to be able to do your background checks. Get to know the kind of man you're settling down with. Do not just fall into that trap because they look good or they have the money and you think they can take care of you. Always do your research, do your homework well, and you'll be able to avoid all these things that come after you have made the mistake. Until next time, this is your host, Alton Njumba, and this is Bittersweet Love Talk Show.